All right. Welcome back. Let me go ahead and grab my links. Post them in the Discord. Okay. All right, we are ready to go. So, yesterday, what did we do? We reworked a lot of the UI stuff. I also, after stream, added in some sound effects. Like that. We can add more. We have this. That we can do sound effects, or I mean footstep sound effects, and pickup sound effects as well. We have these sound effects, of course. We can do icons. That's something we need to work on. We do artwork for our box. Nice. Things are coming together. Let's get some more crafting benches placed, just because. There's a couple other things that I've been thinking about and trying to plan out. Which is mostly how do we do like procedural generation? How am I going to do my save system? All of that. There's going to be a lot of technical stuff that we need to work out. But I don't necessarily need to do that now. Okay, you can still place... Or it still makes that, even if you don't. Let me go here. Play. Play sound. If it equals null, do we do this or this? Ah. I think we just need to put this. Copy that. We're going to comment that out. Comment that out. And then we're going to go to our base builder. Play sound. This does not need. Player is already in here, so we can just do play sound in place component. Yeah. Now it should work. So if I... Oh wait, you can still place foundations up there. But if I click down here at least. Where did deconstruct go? Oh, that's why. I deleted it. Or I removed it. Okay, now deconstruct shows up. Okay. I just realized the music that is playing is not my playlist. Classic. It's like, why is this so bad and why did I choose this? It's like, oh, it's because I didn't. Okay. What now? We have an ad starting in 3 minutes, just a heads up. Not enough pistol. Okay, so crafting works. That's nice. We don't have craft time implemented yet, but... Right now it says press F. Let's do, here we're going to do hold. Now, placeable has handle pickup. And when we go to the player, we do input actions. We have interact and then pick up placeable. We do handle pickup. But what we should probably do input dot is action pressed. We're going to do this, but what we need is some sort of like a progress thing. If input dot is action just released, pick up placeable. We're gonna do something like this. Our pickup time float equals 0.0. Pickup time plus equals delta. And then we can do if pickup time is equal to, or is greater than or equal to 1.0, then we do this plus we do this. Let's try this. Okay, press F, nothing happens. Hold F, and it picks up. Okay. Now we need a label. Or no, we need a progress bar. Pick up progress. We're going to rename this. Transform, we're going to do position Y 150. Nope. Negative 150. Nope. This needs to be negative 200. X needs to be 100. Okay, show percentage, no. How do we do the, okay, Y5. We're gonna access as a unique name. Input actions, we're gonna do player, well, let's go to our player script first. Grab this pickup progress. Input actions, we can go here. We can actually do this and do pickup, no, player dot pickup progress dot show. Here we can do the same thing, but when it's released, we do dot hide, and then we do pickup or player dot pickup progress dot value equals pickup time. Okay, that worked, except for the fact that it seems to be in the wrong spot. So negative 300. Let's try that. All of my UI stuff is weird because I'm on a different, okay, that's not bad. Custom minimum size, let's do 200. No text here. Interact label needs to be showing. Okay. Okay. I do like that sound, but we probably need to make it more like papery design here. Okay, you can kind of keep that progress bar open there because it only releases on that. So we could do nice. Okay, we're making some progress. Full menu, inventory UI. Let's go to 2D. Let's work on this. This is the panel for the inventory, crafting menu, and then that. This has the secondary inventory. So we actually need this here. Which means this actually needs a VBox container. Ah. VBox container. Access has a unique name. open secondary. We need to get the name of whatever inventory. So like this has inventory. We have equipable name here. I'm not even sure if we're using this. Because we have item already. So we can do secondary. Oh, we need a reference to this label. Secondary inventory label dot text equals secondary inventory dot inv dot get parent dot item dot name. If secondary inventory, wait. I get parent dot item not equal null. We can do a quick null check here, I guess. Nice. Small box. Here we have inventory. Okay, cool. Some more UI stuff. Interact label.text. Whoops. So if we try to drop a null item, this gives us problems. So we need to do a drop item. drag from inventory does not equal null, then we do this, but we need to do just released and player dot drag from inventory player dot drag from index dot item does not equal null. As index for type inventory. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Let me grab more coffee. BRB. Okay, this is getting there. The thing we need to do, placeable system done, inventory splits done, UI better, sort of, viewable at the same time with good layout done, drag icon not yet. Let me try something with the UI. Inventory UI. This really should be its own scene. But I do not care. So what we will do, we have our inventory UI, we have all these this, we have this panel container. I'm going to add a child node. Texture rect. This is going to be drag icon. Okay, we got 64 by 64. It's access by unique name. Okay, we have drag icon there in our input actions. Left click, inventory open. Just released, so if just pressed, okay, current tool is left click. Oh, this is in slot UI. We need to do this. That's where we have the left click, right click. Just pressed, drag from index, we can do parent entity dot drag icon dot texture. Equals icon dot texture. We do a quick drag icon dot hide. Okay. And then drag icon in player. We're going to do ignore. I'm going to do a quick func process. Equals. What is it? Get global. Oh my goodness. Let's figure this out. Get mouse position Godot. Not found in base. Okay, so this. Let's try this, I guess. Nice. Okay. So it sort of works. We just need to make sure it starts out hidden. And then we need to make sure that it's it's 64 by 64, container sizing, shrink center. No, so shrink center. Let's just contain no. Okay, keep. Let's fit height. Keep centered. Okay, that doesn't work. Huh. Just wanted to be centered on where the... I mean, I could just do... in the process, minus vector to... or plus, we'll do plus just to... So, negative 32, negative 32. That should center it. Yeah. Now, I also want to do something like this. Let's go to slot UI, 2D. So we have this for when it's active. We're going to duplicate it. This is going to be hovered. Make unique. Okay, we got to do border, different border color. Something like that. Covered border dot show. Here we do dot hide. Interesting. Oh, you know what? This needs to have, should probably do it to this as well. Mouse, filter, ignore. And then this, mouse. This is stop. I think I can do ignore on that too. Yeah, okay. Very nice. It's starting to look pretty good. Okay, I could do some sound effects. We're gonna go to Audacity. And on the player, we're gonna do some, so we already have build sound effects that we're using, but we're gonna do audio stream player. This is going to be inventory SFX. We're going to access that as a unique name. Here, we're going to go up here. Okay. drag, inventory drag, save. Okay. That's in base builder. That's in base builder. Player dot. Okay. This is all here, which can get deleted. Okay. So in our slot UI, well, first let's go here. Well, actually, no. We can do, where is it? Inventory, drag, MP3. Okay. Release. This is just released. Okay, so if hovered. If it does not equal null and it's like this, then we do this swap or increase. Okay, so what I can do is do function play sound. Okay. Asteron, what's up? How you doing? So play sound needs to get this. Inventory open. Var SFX is an audio stream MP3 equals load inventory. No, not inventory open. Inventory drag. And then we can do parent entity dot inventory SFX dot stream equals SFX, and then parent entity inventory SFX play. Now play sound can be we have let's think about this. Right click opens in menu. So just pressed, we don't need to do anything. Just released. If there's nothing, then we don't need to do anything. Maybe we just do it there. And then just released middle click. Something like that. Have you tried ECS coding in Godot? I'm curious what you think about it. Like entity component system stuff? I have not. I don't even really know what it means. Okay, we got some sounds. Okay, left click when we release. Drop item, we do drop item container, we do that, and then here, if we search for this, hovered equals true, and player drag from inventory does not equal null, blah, blah, blah. Then we do drop item at index. Then here we can also do var sfx is an audio stream mp3 equals load, and then we can do, what is this? This is in our input action, so player dot inventory sfx dot stream equals sfx, and then player dot inventory sfx dot play. Yeah, that I'm also barely familiar with the concept, but I like to give it a try. We could take a look here in a sec. Do a little research. Nice. Ah. Let me go to my slot UI again. We have drag icon.hide. We need this in middle click too. Just pressed needs to do dot show, and just released should do just drag icon.hide. This is just pressed right here. So we need to do this. Copy, show, Hightail is made in Java like Minecraft, but with ECS, and I've seen 800 mob tests at 60 FPS. Minecraft would have crapped out at much lower. Yeah. With that kind of thing, are they doing, here, let's do this again. Okay, now we can. Nice. But yeah. Are they doing that with, like, is ECS like doing things using the GPU and stuff?
Hey.
Goodness sakes.
Do you want your process time in Godot to go from this to this? Well, slip on your programming socks because we're about to start cooking with gas. And hello there, it's your boy, Charmed, I'm sure.
Charmed, I'm sure, I'm Gilface.
So, what's this performance boosting meme I'm selling you? A data-oriented design entity component system. That's right, performance can be yours for the low price of maybe having to debug seg faults. Who knows? So, what do all these fancy $20 words mean? It's actually pretty straightforward. Data-oriented design means designing programs around the data one expects to be processing. And entity component
not
systems
OOP,
means a
all the logic
system
it's
of
made
entities
is not
and
to be
components.
processed. Okay.
The two go together like peanut butter and jelly. Under the proper conditions, they run laps around anything else you could think of. I'll note that this is a somewhat advanced topic, so if you're only familiar with GDScript, that ain't gonna cut it. I implemented the demo for this video using GD extension and C-styled C++, since I am hopelessly addicted to pointer arithmetic, even when I get it wrong and cause a segfault. So if you're unfamiliar with GD extension, there's a link in the description, assembly here, but it up to 11. Data and behavior are completely segregated, for better or worse. The canonical example for ECS is projectiles. So by comparison, a regular object-oriented projectile would have fields describing its speed, position, and lifetime, and a
So it's
method
separating the data from the logic. Yeah.
to update all of that data appropriately. Whereas in an entity component system, the eponymous entity may have any component. It may have no component. It may have every component. So for a projectile, an entity would only need a position component, a velocity component, and a lifetime component. While this may seem clunky at first glance, it has niche advantages. Like anything, it has its trade-offs, which I'll get into at the end. Also, important note, there are a myriad ways of implementing ECS, so if you see something different, just keep in mind that a rose by any other name is still a rose. So the example...
I mean, I'm obviously still doing components, but I'm not doing like my entities being fully pieced together. So like on my, or my, yeah, my entities are, like they just have, they still are using definitely OOP stuff. Placeables, like this extends placeable, but then we do have, like, we're composing it using components and trying to keep it as much component based.
The straightforward
But this is saying like literally basically no classes, right? Or very little.
approach is to just instantiate and free the projectiles as needed. I set up an example scene doing exactly that. It's set to have 1000 on-screen tops, so let's give it a whirl and see how badly OBS messes up performance. Wow, OBS is really messing up performance. I ran this before I started recording, and I was getting about 170, 160 frames per second. I forget what the average process time was, which is what we're looking at in this graph. Unfortunately, I sort of expected this. I don't have a GPU. I am just using my laptop's CPU's integrated graphics, so it just really do be that way sometime. But this works even with OBS running in the background, so instead of 1000 projectiles, what happens if I increase the number up to 10,000? And as we can see, I'm in the single digits frames per second. This is not acceptable. But you're all sensible game developers. At 10,000 of any of the same thing, you'd start pooling your nodes and using a multi-mesh to render all those doodads. And I've done exactly that in this next scene. But as you can see, performance does not improve. So let's get down to brass tacks. I've written out everything ahead of time, and I'm just going to talk about it because, boy howdy, this was more substantial than I expected. Now, keep in mind, this isn't just any old entity component system. It is a data-oriented entity component system. So before
I'm not gonna really worry about any of that. Not yet. It is interesting, but it's not on my list of things to learn yet. I've got enough on my plate, but it is cool. Like I've seen, I'm trying to remember who the streamer was, but he was showing like thousands of enemies on screen, all with their own animations that were all done on the GPU side. It was crazy. It was like literally none of them were like game objects, but they all still behaved like game objects. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't really understand it, but it was super cool. Inventory okay, this done. Nice. Building components is in progress because we still have more of those. Crafting, done. Oh, I already have that there. Better inventory UI drag previews. Okay. But we're in a pretty good spot already with this, with the systems. So, like, I don't think there's any system that isn't done besides gathering. Which gathering I'm not going to worry about quite yet. Because I don't really need to. Like, I already know I can test my crafting and all that without gathering, which is good. That was kind of my reaction. I'd gladly do it if already implemented natively in Godot. Relying on a plugin might end me up in a dead end if they give up on updating it. Yeah, yeah. And it's all like, what are you trying to do? You know, what's your goal, right? Are you trying to build something insane that needs something really powerful? Me, I just need to make sure I do need to be thinking about my optimization and stuff. But I'm gonna run into that when I run into it. And I know I'm not going to need anything too insane for this game. Well, I might, because I am gonna do procedural generation and stuff. That's like the big thing on my horizon that I've been learning a little bit about. And I need to learn more about, and I need to lock in how I'm going to do my procedural generation, because there's a lot that goes into what I'm going to end up choosing, like my system that I'm going to end up choosing. What is this? Players never used. Delta is never used. That's fine. We can get rid of these. Implicit ready not found. Drop item container. That is because the drop item container does not exist there, and we don't have any need to reference it. This is just signal callable area exited to callable. These are just signals, like, of connections, so I think those are fine. Princessa Ellen, my wife, has shown up in the chat. What is up? We added a little bit of sound effects. I'll show you. By the way, I got to figure out what... Yeah, we have some little sound effects. We also have some hover effect on this, which is nice. We should do something similar here, and also make the crafting happen where you don't have to click the button. But what was I thinking? That, which is kind of funny that it plays there, but we added that. We should add some pickup sounds. When you open this, that's nice that works. If I go here and I open this, then it opens the small box. If I try to pick that up, it does that. Interesting. That's because there's a box inside the box, and you can't pick up the box unless it's empty. Still thinking if that space game and how a building system like Minecraft Space Engineers, that might benefit from ECS. True, yeah. Oh, dude. I mean, so like you guys having fun? Yeah, we're talking about some build systems. Well, entity component systems, aka ECS. Oh, I should hide that icon. 1 second. Which is basically a way of handling all of your entities, which are like your enemies, your trees, all of the game objects, all the things in the game that need to move around and interact and stuff. But there's more efficient ways of doing it, called an ECS, Entity Component System, that is better than the standard way of doing it on larger scales. But it's also a technical problem, and I don't need it for my game. But for something like a space game, really large systems, okay, I can hide that. Then something like an ECS is more useful, as I understand it. One thing I've noticed, like when I stream at this time, I don't end up getting viewers until later, which makes sense because it's just kind of an odd time, especially for my usual viewers, my actual followers. It is possible that I'll get more European viewers, at this time, but I think a little bit later in the day is kind of good for me, because then I get the morning viewers from the States. Okay. What should I work on? I have a bunch of icons that can be worked on. I have 3D art that can be worked on. My crafting bench is actually already not bad. Like, I don't mind that. It's obviously very basic, but... when you open it, it opens the crafting bench, and then there's basic right there. Now, what I'm gonna do, I guess one thing I can do is I can do, I think I have log in here somewhere. Yeah, log.blend. We're gonna do a new, so assets 3D, we have resources log. Okay, I'm gonna open this up. You shifted from my 3 a.m. going to sleep session to my day streamers. Nice. Where are you based out of, Astron, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, save to file. We're going to do path, assets, 3D. This is so nice to be able to do it this way. Log, mesh, save. And then we can also do materials, use external, and we're gonna load in our main wood, open. Okay, re-import. Now it has that different one, and then we can do that for wood number 2, use external. We can use supports wood, open. There we go. So now we have that. And then what we can do is we can add in our items, placeables, tools. Okay, create a new folder, resources. Create a new resource. This is going to be an item resource. And this will be wood. Save. Wood. Item type, none. Quick load. Wood icon. Mesh. Quick load. Log mesh. Mesh scale. We'll do 1. Collision shape, none. Max stack size, we can do 100. There is no item scene path because it is not a equipable. Then let's go to our crafting menu. craft tab basic. We're going to get rid of pistol and rifle. We're going to add wood here just because. So you can now craft wood. Okay. And now we can do things like our stone hammer. And actually, do we have stone? We have the... Okay, we don't have like our stone resource yet, but that's fine. We'll just make everything cost wood right now. So we'll go to our items. Placeables, basic crafting bench. Required items. Quick load. We're just going to say it costs 1 wood. Ceiling lantern. Everything's just going to cost 1 wood. Wood. 1. Oh, did I didn't save any of these. Yep. Dang it. I have to do I have to do that. Romania, okay. Are you not saving your live sessions? I am actually, but only on YouTube, I think. Because I don't think they show up on Twitch. Quick load, wood. This is always kind of annoying. You do this and then you have to press add new key value pair. Crafting bench. Quick load, wood. 1. Okay. Okay, they all cost 1 wood. Small box. Required. Quick load, wood. And we're going to do 1. And add. Wood does not cost anything, but wood. This hammer thing being in there is annoying. We're going to delete that. We're going to do quick load, wood. It's going to require 1. Okay. Twitch is empty, but thanks for letting me know where you have them. Yeah. So they're all on, they should all be on YouTube. Yeah. Okay, not enough wood. But I can craft wood, and then now I can do fire pits. Okay. We should also change these cards. Here's ADHD kicking in. We're going to do a timer. This is going to be text timer. Craft label should... Okay, we can do that. They must have a minimum size. X, let's do 50. Y, let's do 10, I guess. Hopefully that works. Okay, we're going to connect this timeout to craft card. Then we can do craft Label dot text equals empty. This is going to be 2 seconds. Then we can do text time. Oh, we need to grab this text timer. So text timer dot start. Copy this. Let's see how this works. Not enough wood. Okay, and then it goes away. Nice. Center. We're going to do a font mode. Okay. We'll have it be red. Okay. Not enough wood, and then we craft some wood. Now we can craft. Okay. Nice. Oh, we need to play that sound when we drop. Which means, where's our, need to go to player, need to go to inventory, I think. Or is it slot UI? Right click. Okay, we do this. Okay, so we just need to do our menu, which is our... this is kind of badly organized, but... Preload, example scenes, menu. Dot inventory SFX dot stream equals, hey, Osama, I can't pronounce your name, sorry brother. How's it going in the YouTube chat? Stream equals load. We need inventory drag. Then we do parent entity dot inventory SFX dot play. This menu is rough. We're gonna rework it because obviously it does not look good. Okay, but we can do that. And there's weird things like you click in other places, it doesn't do anything. It's just bad. One thing we could do is we could add in the build system, the cost of things. So we have base build component. Okay, we have a costs now associated with all of our components. Doorway, costs. Quick load, wood. We can do 1 for these. And actually, I wonder if I can do that here. Key of type string. Okay. Has wood in 1. Okay, perfect. Doorway. Where's my doorway? Okay, I think I just have to do this one manually. Wood. Okay, now we can do left click action in the stone hammer. Command Wharf, what's up? How's the day going? Going good. We're implementing costs into our build system and into our crafting. We've gotten mostly set up where I just need to do the build system. So, if I have like this, is building is false, then we return, and then here, we could do if player dot or base builder current build component costs.
What the hell is even now?
Hey, RJL Jones with the raiding party. How's it going, man? Let me show you the progress on the Cozy Forest game so far. Balicha, how's it going? Okay. Man, how was your stream, RJL? I now want more coffee. Because I'm just getting going. Hello, mate. Hey, good to see you, brother. Fihra, what's up? Good, just chilling, doing art. Nice. I keep saying that I'm going to do art, and then I keep working on completely different things. But we are slowly building. So I'll show you what we got. A lot of these icons are placeholders, as you can tell. Ceiling lantern is not actually just a piece of wood, although it basically is. But we have crafting working. So you need resources to be able to craft things. Right now I have it so you can just craft wood, so then you can then craft other items. We have placeables working. We have our build system working. So I'll show you the build system. We're going to be changing it up now where you need resources to actually build. You can't just, build with an empty inventory. But we have a lot of build components built in now. Let's do some ceilings here. We'll do a stairway. Let's do a wood half wall here layer. And then we're gonna do our wood angled roof. And then we've got our wood angled wall. And then, like I said, we have placeables. So like this right here is a ceiling lamp. I can throw that there. I think I have, what is this? Okay, this is my wall lamp. I can place these on wall surfaces. And that goes there. We've got placeables that go on the ground as well. So like this crafting bench. And then when you open it, it takes you to the things you can craft with it. You have your basic crafting tab and then this. So if you open your inventory, it always pulls up the basic crafting and then your inventory. We have things like boxes. So I can open that up and now this shows here. We have some basic sound effects in there as well. But yeah, we've got placeables working for both wall, ground, and ceiling, which is nice. Let's catch up on chat real quick. Cool, thank you. Looks pretty, I like the outlines. Yeah, the outlines is just a really easy post-processing shader I found. It's really good, thanks, man. You just need to add Family Guy as a playable character and you'd have Fortnite. True. How do you deal with error, like if you want to play something somewhere you shouldn't? Currently, nothing. Like, it just doesn't allow you to. Like, I'm clicking... Oh. Well, there it allowed me to because I technically am allowed to place there. But I don't really have the error handling yet. I kind of leave that up to whoever's making the game, because there's just two functions that you call in your own build system, which is just place component or place structure. And place structure is just when you're doing like a foundation by itself that then after that, everything else is a component that is attached to that structure. So you kind of would have to do your own checks before that and be like, can I build here, you know? But yeah, we're trying to work on, you know, making a nice cozy game. And I think it's starting to work. It's starting to come together. We got a vibe, you know. You can build your own little house. We're going to make these components. We're going to be continuing to build them out. The boxes, obviously, are placeholders. A lot of this is placeholder, like these trees, because the trees I actually want to be much bigger. I want you to be able to build your house in the tree, which includes something like a wall component. So like how you can do wall lanterns. I kind of want you to be able to also place... maybe I would do it still with this, where it's like you could build a foundation. So like right now you can build the foundation floating. I will change that eventually. But I do want you to be able to like find a big tree and put a foundation on it that does something like attaches to the tree on the side, and then you can start building from there. Starting petition to get bumblebees in the game. There will actually be fireflies. I've done that before in another game, and it just looks nice. So we'll have little firefly groups. Because in this game, at least in its current form, it's always going to be nighttime. So you're going to be kind of filling the forest with light, cozy light. And then there's also creatures in the forest that will have their own light sources and stuff. It's a cool idea. Yeah, I like, especially like building in the trees and stuff. That's going to be a big thing. I want you to basically be making your own little Rivendell, like Lord of the Rings, Rivendell style places. And we're going to focus a lot less on things like combat and stuff, because I might add it in still, but I don't want that to be the main focus of the game. Okay, one thing we can do, I know I need to keep working on icons. At least placeholder icons. We're gonna do a new one. And we're gonna do our, lantern. How does our lantern even look? Ceiling lantern. Wall lantern. Wall lantern. Where's my... Okay, wall lamp. Of course we have different names for some reason for these different things. Okay, we have ceiling lamp.obj. We can get rid of that. And we can extract. I finally learned how to do this. Let's see here. Assets, 3D, placeables, lights. Okay. Now we can do ceiling, lamp, mesh. I had always been exporting to OBJ to like pull them into resources and stuff. What was the save? Was the save system hard to make since it's a survival where you can craft and place things? I haven't even tried that. I haven't attempted a save system since my very first game because I had such a bad experience trying to figure that out. Even though now I'm sure it would be much easier to understand. But at some point I'm going to have to figure that out. Yeah, what I'm thinking is I'll probably just have some attribute on it. This is the other hard part. I'm eventually going to try to do procedural generation, which I've never really done, which makes saving even more difficult, I feel like. But we will see. We'll figure it out. Okay, ceiling lamp mesh, perfect. And then we also need materials. Use external. Main wood, open. And then here. Yellow light, open. Okay. So now if I go to my wall lantern dot resource, we can do a quick load here. Oh, this is wall lantern. We need this in our ceiling lantern. Instead of the OBJ, we're going to do the ceiling lantern mesh file, which is good. Okay. And wall lantern, does wall lantern have a mesh yet? No. So now we can do lamp, wall lamp.blend. We're going to do the same thing over here. I can't believe I didn't know about this before. It's insane that I've not known about this. Okay. Okay, now this is wall lamp mesh. Save, reimport. And then here, use external. Wall lantern resource. Of course, our naming conventions are all off, but you know. Quick load. How does Minecraft do it? I just did, or watched a video that's really good on that, actually. That thing with survival is breaking my head. Yeah. Belicha, I'll have to find that video. I literally just watched it yesterday. Super good. I don't remember if I ever asked you, this is Asteron, but have you read the Bobbyverse book by Dennis E. Taylor? That was a good inspiration for my space game. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Huh. Takes the object coordinates to save it in place, or save it and place it in automatic, but still have no idea how to make that. So many things to configure manually. Yeah. Still struggle with importing stuff. Any quick tips? Honestly, this system right here is working for me. I'll show you it in a sec. Saving system serializes your level info and rebuilds your object. Yeah. On load. Thing I wonder about is more like when you mine a block, how does it keep track that cobble is gone? Those are thousands and thousands of positions. So I think with that, here, let me check and make sure that my meshes are here. Sweet. Oh, sometimes you can lock these on, and sometimes they do not work. Okay. I can't even place up there. It seems like it's locking on. There we go. All right, but those meshes work. That's good. Okay. First things first. Importing stuff. You probably don't want your blend files in your project like I'm doing because it bloats it like crazy. But when you put a blend file in, so like stone hammer, right? I have materials in Blender, but I don't actually use the materials from Blender. I just make them so then I have So then they show up here as like wood and stone, right? That way I can then override them later. But like, let's go to our hammer, stone hammer. Stone hammer is just a node 3D of type equipable. I have all my logic in there. But then I right click on my blend file, instantiate it. That way it'll keep it up to date. So I have my actual blend file instantiated in this scene. But when I'm doing my item, stone hammer dot resource, or yeah, this resource here, this is when it's in your inventory. And I need a mesh attached to it, so then when you drop the item on the ground, it's not dropping this scene, it's dropping an item scene. But you can't just put a blend file in there, you need an actual mesh. So, from my Blender thing, I can go here and I can do this. Save to file, you turn that on, you set a path to where it's going to get exported every time. And it saves it as a .mesh or a .resource, or I think it's a, yeah, just a .resource. But I just give it a name, Stonehammer Mesh, and then I can use that there. And then anytime I update my Blender file, it will also update that mesh, which is nice, that resource. So it'll, I used to do it where I would export a separate mesh just for the item scene as an OBJ, and that was just the worst to work with. Because at least here I can just say in my blend file, hey, in the materials, do the same thing. Use external. Which actually right now on this, I don't think these do. Yeah, these don't use external. But I could do that. I could be like, use my Godot materials, load those in, and then every time I update my blend file, it will update everything, but it will keep the materials from my project, all of that. Balicha, as far as the mining a block and stuff, so yeah, you do delete it from the world and you have to save that that has been deleted. This is the video that he was talking about. Yes, let me pull it up. Me and my wife watched it yesterday, and it's very good. Yeah, keep track of it. So basically, yeah, Balicha, it's all procedurally generated terrain, so they don't need to keep track of where all the blocks are in this scene, because it's getting generated. The only time you need to keep track of where a block is if you've changed it. Because every time you come back into this area, if you've never changed anything in this region, it will just generate it as it was. But the moment you change something, it needs to keep track of what block, like what chunk you are in, so, because it does it by chunks, right? When you move throughout the map, it loads a new chunk, and then a new chunk, and then a new chunk, and then those chunks have blocks in them. So it keeps track of what chunk you are in and which block changed. So then when it regenerates that block, when you come back later, it will regenerate all of the terrain, but then it will say, oh, he edited this block at this coordinate, and he destroyed it, let's say. So now that block is now just an error block. It's not whatever the terrain generation thinks it should be. So it just saves like, okay, in this block, these blocks were edited, which is why if you destroy tons of, let's say you build a really complicated thing and you're changing the terrain a ton in different blocks, your save file is going to get bigger and bigger. Whereas if you don't change anything, your save file doesn't get bigger because it's just going to regenerate the same stuff when you come back to that area of the world. But this is a really good video. I am going to use some of the stuff from here to try to do my procedural, but I'm not doing procedural generation like this. I'm not doing blocks. I think I'm going to do a lot more large-scale general, like, building blocks. Like, there's a plateau block that is like, let's say the player's this big, this is a block, and then like really big things. But then I would have to figure out how to make it all look like terrain and stuff. They wouldn't all be actual blocks, like some of them might be mounds or something, but it just like, I want to do it on a larger scale because you're not going to be able to edit terrain in this game as far as I think. But so it destroys the block or replaces. It's never empty on code, and that saves that info with coordinate. Yeah, like it only saves the information on things that have changed. Because since it's procedurally generated, it doesn't need to save that data. Because every time you go to a place, it's deterministic. It will always generate the same terrain when it loads it. But of course, if you change something, you want that to be persistent. You want that to continue. The fact that you dug a hole into a mountain, when you come back to that area, you don't want it to just overwrite that. So it only needs to keep track of what changed, not what is there. Because all the stuff that is there originally is just generated. And you can regenerate that over and over again every time you come back to the place after leaving for a long time or reloading the game. So it probably goes, regenerates the whole terrain, and then edits it on the fly with all of the stuff, all of the save data to see, or to reflect whatever you did in that area. Which I will need to do some of that as well, because I'll have things like certain trees that you can chop down. There's going to be things that you can edit that aren't part of the terrain, but they're part of the stuff that lives on top of the terrain. I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Okay, what was I doing? Icon. See, this is how distracted I get. So we have wall lantern, ceiling lantern. This is just placeholder. And then we can do some sort of, whoops. Save this as, what do we call this? Wall, lantern, icon. Okay, we can export it as that, okay. And then what we can do is we can do save as, and we can do ceiling lantern icon, save. Now we're in ceiling lantern. We can grab, delete all of this. Grab this color, go back to our drawing. Grab all of this. And then we can move this to the center. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Nope. Let's do this. We'll just make it one thicker. These are, once again, just placeholders, so they do not need to be good. Okay. I don't even know if I'm going to do pixel art for these anyway. So now I can go to my lantern resources. Ceiling lantern. Texture, boom. Wall lantern, grab this texture, boom. Thought maybe there was a trick to do it, but yeah, you just have to keep track of everything that's not the original terrain. Yeah. What is the logic? Don't know. Haven't done, makes planning for save systems in survival is way more easy. That's what I got in my mind. Yeah. No, it's... I haven't done a save system in so long that it's a little difficult, but... Okay, these icons, obviously not great. Let's do a little bit of editing. Let's make them look a little better. First, let's delete that. Let's grab all of this. There we go. What was it? Shift O, background color, cancel. We're gonna do that. Shift O. Okay. So that gives us an outline. Then we can do this. We can draw. Add some shadow. Okay. Whoops. Export as. Export, yes. Okay. Now we can go here. We can do this. And then do another Shift O. Okay. Oh my goodness, keep doing that. Does it not automatically update these? Okay, it does. Nice. Oh, interesting. These are all... They're all a little fuzzy. That's a classic. I would have to change the import. Okay, but it's honestly, even these placeholders aren't bad. Okay, we can do one for wood. Oops. Wood icon.png. Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. Do a quick shift O. Okay. Then we can move that there. About UIs, is better to have one for each resolution or have one that scales. What do you think? That's another part where I am not very good. Like, I don't really know UI stuff because, first of all, my game is weird because I just put it in full screen mode, but I'm pretty sure. Let me look at my project settings. Window. I'm still in 1152 by 648 just in full screen. So if I like go to my 2D, you can see the viewport is this big. And it shows all of this stuff as this big. But then the moment I play, I'm on a 1440 monitor, and it all comes into this size. So I don't know UI that well. It's kind of just one of those things I haven't gotten enough experience. Hey, Unc, how's your dying job going? AI will replace you. I sure hope so. That would be great. I was thinking about AI the other day. And how it's really, like, it's obviously upsetting things, changing things, but it's also kind of taken all of the programming work that I don't enjoy. And the rest I'm doing on my own, like this game development, I'm doing it on my own, mostly without AI. And it's the stuff that I enjoy, which is nice. But like web development, I just don't enjoy. Well, we can talk about it. I like to hear someone's perspective. Yeah, like I don't, as far as UI stuff, UI, once again, it's going to take me a bit to learn it. I've started to get better with the layouts, but scaling, all of that, that's also kind of scary because you have to think about all the different resolutions that people might play at. Okay, that's this. Maybe I should dump this in there, or this. Yeah. dump that in there and then use this as shadow. No, that's not a very good one. Okay. This might be okay. Once again, these are just placeholders, so it doesn't really matter. Don't need to think about how it looks. Okay. This is fine. Wood icon. We're going to overwrite the placeholder one. Okay. My friend who works on estate agency 10 times more than you makes 10 times more than you coders, and AI will never replace him. That's great for him, brother. That sounds amazing. At least, you know, whatever in a estate agency, that's safe. Whatever that is, it's safe. Now, if I did coding professionally, which I sort of do, I guess. It's not my main job, but I do it on the side. But if it was my profession, I would be a little bit, like, worried because it's changing so much. But, Pat, enjoy staying poor coders bye-bye. This Pat guy. You got to drop a follow. I want to see more of you, brother. It's good to have you here. No, nowhere near good enough to be at the moment, but they're getting better. They are. David Does Dev. What's up? How you doing? I only use AI LLM so far for retrieval augmented gen. Been trying generative training with my own art, but this is way too slow and costs a lot of resources. So I'll drop it if I don't see it improves this week. Yeah, I haven't been using AI that much. Other than for like this right here is one of the placeholder ones. Oof. Okay, that looks really bad with the fuzziness. But that's because it's the build one. Okay. But at least we can see wood there. Okay. This can all look terrible. It's fine for it to look terrible. This looks great. This was AI generated placeholder though. So I want to, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out what my visual style is going to be. On the icon side of things. I know on the 3D, obviously. I could also just do screenshots of models. That probably would be fine. I don't really know how, but I could do that through Blender, I assume. Okay, every icon, everything that you can craft now at least has an icon, has its own icon. So, what now? How much time do I have? Not a ton of time. But I have some time. One thing I do want to do is do the box. So box has handle action when you interact with a deployed placeable. So box will need a, we'll do this. We'll go to Blender. Gonna do a new general, grab everything, delete it, Shift A, mesh, cube, 1. This is, whoops. Let's do this. 1G. This is where it gets tricky because I need to figure out, do I want separate objects? This is tough. Because for items, like, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got to figure out how to do, like this crafting table. When it's on the ground, it looks like this. Then you pick it up, and now it has tools on it. That's because these tools are in different meshes. They're not joined to the same mesh. Now, that's fine. I could just join them to the same mesh. But what happens when you have a box that you want to be able to animate the lid going up and down? Especially if you want that animation to happen in Godot. You kind of need two separate objects. Unless I just want to do the build animation in Blender. Oh, I have an ad starting in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, just a heads up. Sorry, let me actually look at this, what you said, command. For RAG, helps a lot when you are learning. You give it the documents the AI reads and is good. Works as an index with different explanation. Other than books to help in learning, love it so far. Like for using it to read through docs, is that what you're saying? Give it the documents to explain things to you. Is that what you're saying, command? Crafting stations. Okay, let's do new folder, storage. Small box. How do I do this? Because I want it to animate opening. Can you animate in Godot? Yes. Export the box with the skeleton and then animate there. Yeah, maybe. I haven't actually done that. But you can do like I've done it where you just have multiple meshes and then you just animate the rotation and position. Like for this, it would just be a lid going up and down. Like I'll do cube. Okay, let's say we have this small box. Right now we have lid and then this CSG box. I'm gonna hide these. Add child, oh whoops. Now we need a small box.blend, instantiate it. Okay. Now we do editable children. We have cube and cube one. Let's actually rename these box and lid. Have more examples while learning to improve perception. Yeah. Yeah, I think it can be really useful when you're learning. Okay, so now if I add an animation player. Nope, not an animation tree. And then what I can do is, well, we have placeables and then equipables. And what we can do is at export var anim or just call it anim animation player Okay, so box now has an animation player. If I go to my animation player, new title, position and rotation, both there. And then what I can do is I can copy these, go to one, paste them there. Okay, so we have like an idle animation. This will be open. We can grab both of these. Or actually, we only need to grab lid. We're going to say this is 0.5 seconds. Okay. Now if we go here. Okay, what happens if we just do this? Position and that. Okay, obviously it doesn't work. Cubic. BRB sounds good. Okay. This, okay, we're going to delete that. Go back to here. Okay. The hard part is if we separate these meshes like this, then we separate the mesh on the item side. Let's delete that. We're going to go into box. Nope. Go into box, go into edit mode. Here we're going to add a new cube. Okay, now if I go into... Man, how do we do this? So I want the box to open. You know what? I'm just not going to worry about it for now. Assets, 3D, placeables, storage, small box, mesh, save, import. We could use separate materials if we want, but what? Did my Godot just crash? Small box mesh, save, re-import. Okay, nice. So now I can go to my small box resource, grab this mesh. Oh, wow, okay. That's a giant box. We need to go into Blender. Okay, this How do I scale this all down properly? We'll do scale X. Nope. Scale on the X. Scale on the Z. Scale on the Y. I guess maybe we can do snap. Five. All right. Now we can go back to here and it should update it. A plus S 0.5 to minus scale. Ah, okay. Long time since I used Blender. Yeah, this'll work for now, I suppose. Okay, let's see how it looks. Nice. We have our small box. When you drop a box, then it's at half scale. So then you know that it's not deployed. And we could even do some sort of, indicator that something is focused. I wonder if I could do that pretty easily, actually. Box has interactable type placeable. And then it has the item. So if I go to my player, connection detect. That's connection detect. Okay. Item detect. Hand, with all of this stuff. We need to do this, and then quick load. We'll do our preview shader for now. our process, we can do if, well, let's do this. Current focused item does not equal null. Because I think we do items first. Elif current focused interactable does not equal null. Highlighted item, not hide. This is in the process. It's not great, but we have item detect body. Current focused item, we do this. So highlighted item dot mesh equals current item dot mesh. If current, whoops. Item is equal to null. Then we can do all this in here. Show highlighted item dot show, and then we can do highlighted item dot mesh equals current focused interactable dot parent dot item then in here, gotta take off, have a good stream, we'll drop by again. Hey, Belucha, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Okay, we're forgetting things for sure, but that's fine. We have this. Okay, let's just see what happens. Okay, yeah. It needs to be... Okay, so now we need to check. So when we item detect body entered, blah blah blah, exited. So actually, I don't think we need to even have this. Let's see. We just need body entered and area entered. Yeah. For now. Shaylee, what's up? How are you? Okay, there's that. This pops up at full. Oh. Interactable.parent. So item detect body entered. Should be a current focused item mesh. Area entered. If it's interactable, then we do. So if current focused interactable does not equal null, and current focused item equals null, whereas here, item detect, we just do this. But up here, it's saying current focused item does not equal null, then we do this. And let me do... Okay. So now, whoops. Now we go back to our item detect area and body entered. Doing good. How are you? Or doing all right? How are you doing? I'm doing good. We are making a lot of progress on our game. I can show you a little bit. Okay, item detect body exited. Area entered. We do this. Parent.item.mesh. This is for area. That's fine. Body entered. Highlighted item dot scale equals current focused item dot item dot scale mesh scale plus 0.1. Oh, equals. times 1.1. This is for items. On area entered. Whoops, come on. Okay, let's see how this is. Item, highlighted item dot scale equals current focused item dot item. Okay, where's my bench? Crafting bench. Mesh scale 0.5. Oh, dot mesh. No, it's not scale. Okay, so this has scale. Let's see what happens if I put. Let's do a quick load. Let's grab our crafting bench here. What happens if I change the scale here? Okay, it makes it bigger. What's going on then? Now, for some reason, we have that. Current focused item does not equal null. Wait, let's try this again. Does not equal null. Let's see what happens when I'm here. Interact with small box. Hold F to pick up small box. If I press E, it's doing that. So there is a point where it becomes null, but it's not changing the item detect body entered. This is if body is item seen, then we do this. Area entered. Area is interactable. We do this. Something like this. Maybe. Okay, we're still randomly getting that. What happens when I pick this up? Okay. Also, the scale changes just don't work. Why do they not work? Let's do the scale here. Times that. Then we can do times 1.1. Let's see if this works. Okay, now it does. But I'm... Still getting that. When I come over here, okay. So it's just if you come from having a item. And then you come over here and it's fine. This doesn't quite work. Oh. Interactable. Dot item. That's kind of weird. Huh. I'm gonna have to think about this. Because we need to... Scale doesn't actually quite work on this anyway. It's still keeping the original mesh material too. I do like this idea of just having this mesh get switched out. But I think we can't do it on a material overlay. Oh, also this should not be. Geometry should be on a material override, I think. All right. Why is that still doing the mesh scale? Interactable. Ah, mesh scale. That's why that's not showing up. We don't need the mesh scale. Oz, what's up? Why Godot? I just enjoy Godot. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. When we come from here to there, then it just blip. Yeah, I enjoy Godot. It's lightweight, easy to learn. I like GD script quite a bit. Okay, when we go into item detect, item detect, let's do it. Item detect area. We're gonna get rid of these. And we're just gonna do them in the process, which is bad, but. Highlighted item dot mesh equals current focused item dot item dot mesh. Else this is a bad way of doing it. We will change this, of course, someday down the line. Current focused interactable dot parent dot item We don't want to be doing this a million times a second, but that's what we're doing right now. Okay, so it was something in there. That was the issue. I do have to bounce pretty quick here. But I guess this is only really running we go. That's not bad, right? Oh. Broken. Object type nil. Update interact label. If it does not equal. Let's look at our items and see what's breaking it. Or it's the item, maybe. Let's go to the item real quick. See if that fixes my braking. Now it's broken. Mesh on type nil. Current focused item. What mesh is breaking this? All of my meshes have, or are there. There's something weird going on. This mainly because I've done such a bad way of building this. Okay. But we will fix things later. We still haven't done the wood costs. So that will be next. We have it started, we just haven't done it. Building costs wood half done. Okay, I got to bounce. So let me see if anyone is online. Okay, Mr. D-Boy.
Mouse.
I follow him.
That whatever I'm grabbing.
We are going to raid him, and then I got to bounce. But thank you all for being here. Appreciate you guys. Hope you have a good one. I will be back on tomorrow, so feel free to join the Discord or just drop a follow. Thank you for those who did follow. Fiora, thank you for the raid from RJL. Appreciate you. Command, Pat, David Does Dev, Shaylay, good to see you, bro. Belicha, all y'all, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Asteron, my wife Ellen, of course. And who else? Oh, in the YouTube chat, appreciate you guys as well. I believe we just had, who do we have? Oh, now it doesn't show my YouTube chat, but glad I could check in. Yeah, I actually watched your stream for a little bit the other day, but I was busy, so I had to bounce, so I didn't say hi. But good to see you, bro. Yeah, you too. But yeah, we'll send you guys over now. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye-bye. And for those of you in the YouTube chat, thank you for being here. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Peace.